I'm going to be talking about tamales like from across the world. I know you guys probably think that tamales are just like from Mexico and just only like Hispanic kind of thing, but no, there's more around. They've been dated back to 5000 BC. So with the Aztecs and the Mayans especially, they, instead of what we know as a tamal now, it's kind of like a sandwich for them that they would do, but it gradually progressed to the tamal that we know now. So I've been around them practically all my life because, yes, I'm Mexican. It was kind of like a rite of passage for me to know how to make them with all my relatives. And I'm just going to give you guys like a heads up of like the different kinds so you guys can know the difference between all three main types of tamales. Okay, so this is like the corn husk tamale, and according to Daniel Hoyer, he's an author of a book called Tamales. There is like 500 to 1,000 different variations of them, but the main distinction is that they're made of corn husk, and they all originate from northern Mexico, where the cornfields are found regularly. They're about 6 to 8 inches wide, and they're filled with anything, mostly like a mole, so it's like a chile sauce. And you can, I've said it before, like since there's so many variations, you can mix it up with whatever. So it's all from right here, all the ones that use the corn husk tamales, it's all central kind of thing, kind of Mexico, since all like the cornfields are through the central. So that's what's available basically. Whatever's available is what you use for wrapping, and whatever, it's mostly meat through here, so that's what you use. And then the next style is with the banana or plantain leaves. So the banana leaves are found more regularly in the tropical areas of Mexico, so hence the plantain leaves if you don't have the corn the plantain ones. They're twice as big, and they're thicker because from the steaming process it makes them fluff up, if that makes sense. So they would be bigger. And I don't know, but they have kind of more of a, I don't want to say like a seafood taste to it, because the banana leaf like makes it absorb compared to the corn husk. And they're found all in this area, so you can find Valencia, Oaxaca, Veracruz, all right here. So it's anything that's like seafood, and mostly they're filled with like more seafood and a less thicker sauce. And then we have the dessert tamales. So they're basically, they can be used with banana leaves or corn husk leaves, and they're filled with anything dessert-wise, you can say. So you can do with chocolate, you can do with mostly dried fruits, raisins, pineapples, just to give it that sweet taste. But what I found interesting about all this, because these are like the ones that we all know about, is that there's tamales from the Philippines. So the Philippine tamales, so if I can find a picture that opens it, it would be right here, and they use the bamboo steamer. They have a mixture instead of a masa with the corn. They use grounded white and brown rice, so like a toasted kind of thing. It's more sweet flavor. It has peanuts, coconut milk, chicken, some type of meat, and then eggs. And it's wrapped in banana leaves. And I tried it just to see what it tastes like, and I really didn't like it. Well, I had like a sweet taste to it, but then it had like the meat taste, so it kind of didn't flow well. Or maybe I just didn't get it from like great vendors, because I see you guys are like, no, that's not what it is, kind of thing. But yeah. So then there's like the Caribbean one. So this one's like from Cuba, and then this one, of course, is from Puerto Rico. And they have they have a more mild taste. It's not as it doesn't have like a mole, a sauce to it. So they, and like this one right here, I don't know if you can see, but instead of putting the filling in, they mix the masa up with the meat. So you kind of have I don't know if you want to call it the mazen, but it's mixed up like that. And then in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, they're called pasteles, so it's like a cake. And it's made from a mixture of plantain and banana leaves. And it's like over here, right there. And instead of them wrapping it up, they just use the, I was reading that they use the leaves as them being like a decoration for the plate. So they just wrap it up and then they serve it out. And then in Central America and South America, like Peru, so the top one right there, they have, it's kind of like the Mexico one, but instead of Mexico's spicier taste, they have a milder taste to it. So simply stating that there's only 3 types is really like limiting extremely. But the main difference is like the wrapping of it. So we have the banana leaf, the corn leaf, and then in some cases like I think it was Cuba. Instead of them also using, I want to say the corn husk, they have it. They wrap it up to make it like into some type of style, like a little like I don't know how to explain it, like a formation kind of thing, so that it looks pretty to look at. So yeah, I hope you guys like were able to distinguish all these things.
All right, Andrew, what did you think?
First, we should brought enough attention for the picture to make me hungry. Her distance was here, and she brought enough facts to let us understand how to change, differentiate each time. And I think her presentation was also clear, and that's pretty good.
And I was supposed to bring you guys some, but
and everybody's disappointed immediately.
No, it's my brother's fault. Like, you're supposed to cook them for like an hour and a half, and I turned them on at 7, and he thought he didn't know why I was on apparently, so he turned them off at 7:30, so they were kind of raw. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. So.
You'll bring it in one day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they can last.
If you start cooking them again, doesn't that mean that there's
it's basically
bacteria and stuff?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I put them back on
next
right
time,
now, but it's going to be like forever.
All right. Karla, I like the subject. I think that you identify it pretty quickly. That's okay. I don't like the attention device of the title card, and you're just telling us what's going on there. I like the idea better of you're telling us a story that you learned how to make them. It's part of your family's traditions, that kind of thing. I think that would work a little bit better as your attention device. Your thesis, you say what your goal is, but it gets a little less clear as you go along that the purpose is to distinguish the different types. It's mostly that you're going to kind of describe how they are different in those various places. I think we need a little bit more background on tamales and about how they, I'm trying to figure out what defines a tamale, because at one point it's all the corn and the masa, but apparently it's not if you were in the Philippines, because that's not what you're using there. So is it just the way it's cooked and prepared? Is it the shape? Is it the fact that something's stuck inside something else and then cooked that particular way? Or is it just that they have similar characteristics and that puts them in that particular grouping? I think I need a little bit more explanation of that. The visuals are pretty good, although I do think you have a lot in that one image where you're kind of making a circle around the world trying to cover the 4 things that you've got there. It might be better to put those onto separate images, although then you've got an awful lot of slides, so I can see a little bit why you're trying to put them together. Also, maybe it would be a good idea to label those pictures so that you feel less like you have to step back and point at everything, and everybody would be able to pick it out. And sometimes it just seems like you aren't quite familiar with the point that you're trying to make on each of those individual sections. You start talking about it, you get sidetracked and talk about, let's face it, people are responding to some of the descriptions, and there's something that you're interested in, and the point, remember, is to be able to distinguish them from each other. So let's remind us to do some compare and contrast a little bit more on some of those points. All right, thank you.